Hello. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Rodney. I got my first person on, so I'm really excited. This is actually my third scope, and I'm going to kind of sort of wait for some people to come in. Hey, Cuzzy. How are you? I'm going to wait for some people to join, but I'm really, really excited about today's topic of what I am going to talk about. So while I am waiting on some people to join, go ahead and do a brief introduction of myself. Hello for Hamo. Thank you for joining my scope. My name is Magdalene Harvey. Go ahead and put your name in there so I know who you are. Form a hole. Okay, well, welcome to my scope. My name is Magdalene Harvey. Today I'm going to scope about project management. Thank you, Rodney. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I actually just wrapped up a course. I'm here in Atlanta, and I'm teaching a PMP class, a PMP bootcamp course, preparing some hungry aspirants to take and pass the PMP exam. And my goal is that they take and pass this test on the first try. It's a very intense exam, and pretty much you need to know theoretically how to apply project management, and a test basically test your ability to do that. In addition to that, I received a couple questions via email and via messenger from some project managers that needed some information in terms of being successful with the team that you are given. So just to kind of sort of qualify myself, my name is Magdalene Harvey. I've been a project manager for over 14 years. My career started with JP Morgan Chase in financial services, and I managed projects in financial services, setting up service delivery and a service desk for a credit card company with about 12 conglomerates that they took over within 2-year period. So that in itself was a project, and I really had received a lot of experience from doing that. I also have experience in healthcare IT, and I have experience in telecommunications and IT projects. My background is actually an IT programmer, so I am a computer programmer by trade, but it's been a couple years since I've done some computer programming, but I have implemented IT projects. So I get really excited about that because I love to get success in the things that I am doing. So I want to thank you guys for joining my scope. I want you to tap the screen for those hearts. Go ahead and share with your followers, and share on Twitter. You can copy the link and paste it in your Facebook to share on Facebook as well. There will be a replay. So for my replay viewers, welcome. And my hopes is that you actually can learn something from my scope. And it doesn't have to be just for project managers, because project management literally is the way of life. So I'm really excited about being able to scope about what I'm truly passionate about. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. Whoever just joined, thank you for the hearts. What is your name and where are you from? What is your name and where are you from? Welcome. Please share with your followers. Also on Twitter, copy the link and share it on Facebook. Tell the world that the scope is on. So one of the things that I want to talk about is basically some skills for project managers that they could use. I just wrapped up a PMP bootcamp course, and I actually received a couple emails in reference to some soft skills and some things that project managers, in terms of how to deal with politics. That's one of the big things that project managers have to deal with. So I want to talk about those things. So some of the skills, or some of the main skills that a project manager needs to possess and need to have, is emotional intelligence. Confidence, one. And with confidence comes emotional intelligence, known as EQ. And project managers, basically, when the sky is falling, you cannot be rattled by all of the drama. Hi, Dea, Scope School from Charleston, South Carolina. Hi. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm actually in Atlanta. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia this week. Normally, I am traveling and teaching in other states. I teach PMP bootcamp classes. I teach people how to take and pass the PMP exam on the first try. So I get really excited about, hey, Seven Eagles, thank you for joining my scope. Go ahead, please, and share with your followers, so you can swipe up to share on Android, and you can swipe to the left or to the right to share on, hi, Seven Eagles, what is your name? To share, and where are you coming in from? What state? And share, copy the link and share it in your Facebook pages as well, and share on Twitter. Thank you for the share. Thank you for the share. If you're on LinkedIn, this is where I do the majority of my business. On LinkedIn, please share on Akil. Hi, Akil from North Carolina. The Carolinas representing today. All right. Thank you. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. So what I was getting ready to get into is emotional intelligence and the skills needed by a project manager to be successful. So, and the main thing is great interpersonal skills. So a project manager, one of the main things that they need to possess is really good interpersonal skills. Having interpersonal skills basically sets you apart. It sets you apart so that you're not moved by the drama and the things that's going on your project. So some of the things that, and I have a scriber that will be joining me shortly, but some of the things that interpersonal skills include is good leadership skills. And leadership skills is a servant leader mentality. I call it the soft side of leadership, or the female side of leadership, where you are a servant leader. Again, emotional intelligence, your ability to resolve conflicts effectively, and your ability to negotiate, to create what we call lose-lose in the project management world, but most people will call win-win situations, where you can not necessarily compromise, but you get one party to give up something, and then you get another party to give up something, so that you can resolve a conflict. Hello, Gregory Knight. Thank you for joining. Where are you joining from? Go ahead and post that up for me. Thank you for joining my scope. My name is Magdalene Harvey. I am the project management queen, and I am getting ready to do a scope to talk about constructive roles and destructive roles. As you can see, I actually just completed a bootcamp class, and I realized that my board is on the wrong side. So for the things that I'm going to talk about is, what are the roles that are constructive to a project and that are destructive? Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. That are destructive to a project. Roles, hello from Alabama. Okay, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina representing. Hello, Alto Vis P. Thank you for joining. What is your name and where are you joining from? Thank you for joining my scope. My name is Magdalene Harvey. I am a project manager. I'm a consultant, and I am a trainer. I teach people how to take and pass the PMP exam, Agile, Scrum certifications. I do Prince 2. I do ITIL, Six Sigma, pretty much, and I do by any means necessary project management. All right, Northside representing Northeast, Maryland. Thank you for joining my scope. And what is your first name? Is it Altavis? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Altavis? Yes, awesome. My name is Magdalene, like magazine. Instead of the Z, replace it with an L, and you have the enunciation of my name. So one of the things that I'm talking about is constructive roles and destructive roles that team members play on a project. For you as a project manager to identify if the role that a person plays, and what I mean by role, the things that they do, the way they behave, the way they act among the team, is that positive to your project or is that negative? So I'm going to give you the positive roles, and the positive roles are for me to help you embrace those roles and not be intimidated by them. Because one of the main things that a project manager must possess is confidence. And if you have confidence, your insecurities will not take the best of you, and you know if you have a great team member or not. So some of those good roles, or the constructive roles, are Thank you for inviting your followers. Thank you for tapping the screen for hearts. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for inviting your followers. Thank you for joining the scope. For those of you who are just joining, my name is Magdalene Harvey. I am a project manager. I am a consultant, and I also teach ITIL 6 Sigma, and I'm a programmer. So I'm a project manager by trade, and I like to teach project managers how to take and pass certification exams, because certification exams kind of sort of set you apart. It shows people that you're serious about the profession. It also makes a difference in salary in many cases. Also, if you are a displaced project manager, even if you've been managing projects for years and years and years and years, oftentimes when you find yourself back into the market, you have a hard time finding a job. Thank you, Ms. Fabulous, for inviting your followers. You have a hard time finding a job in the market because you don't have this certification. Even though the company may not practice project management PMI's way, they may be using Agile or some type of Scrum or hodgepodge. Yes, you are a future PMP. Great. If you want to take the PMP exam, I do boot camp classes. So I do the hit it and quit it. It's a 4-day, really, really brain intense, intellectual PMP boot camp class. So I give you 4 years of college in 4 days. But if you do the things the way that I teach you how to do it, you will take and pass the PMP. It is a mindset. It is a way of thinking. All right, so what I'm covering for the future PMP, so if you understand what I'm talking about, is the human resource management section. One of the main things that a project manager must know is you are a servant leader, and you do not own the resources of the people that work on your project team. And I like to liken this to a mother. When you are pregnant, you did not choose the baby. Like, you didn't go in heaven and say, hey, give me that one. This is the features that I want, and things like that. So oftentimes as a project manager, you cannot choose your baby. Whatever you are given, that is what you have to utilize. So one of the things that I was getting ready to go over, you'll see it back here on my screen, is what are constructive roles and destructive roles to a project, so that a project manager understands that when people are operating in these roles, that you want to know how to embrace the good roles and how to use your interpersonal skills to convert the bad roles into good roles. And that's part of being a great leader. So some of the constructive roles, this is what you want to see on a project, is people who take initiative. These are what we call initiators. So initiators are people who take initiative. If they understand the directive of the project, if they know what the project is supposed to do, this person is not going to check in with the project manager every day, every week, every month. So the best way for a project manager to deal with an initiator is, once you have set the goals and you know the goals of your project, and you've set those reporting timelines in terms of what you need, usually the initiator is compliant. The initiator is a person who will blaze a trail. They are not going to come to you all the time for direction. They have leadership ability just like you. So as a project manager, you want to be trusting. And when you are trusting, you trust that the person that you put in that role, they could do that job. And when you trust that they could do the job, you have an open door policy that if they need your assistance or if they need your help, you can provide it. The other role that we have is a clarifier. A clarifier, or what most people may call an analytical person. This person loves to ask questions. If there is a hole in a plan, meaning the plan is not solid, there's some objections, this person is very risk averse. So they will find a problem if there is a problem. And this person is to be embraced on a project. You don't want to treat them as if they are bothering you, they're asking too many questions. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. Official D Breezy, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining my scope. Please share. If you've not shared already, please share on Twitter. You could copy the link and you could paste it in your LinkedIn page as well as your Facebook page. And thank you for tapping the screen for hearts. And I see different color hearts. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. So we were talking about the clarifier. So the clarifier is the person who's very analytical, and this person will ask questions, and they're very risk averse. And if the project manager, yes, they're always finding something wrong. Sometimes, and this is why I'm telling you this is a constructive role. I'm going to talk about what the destructive side of that is called. But the constructive role, this person is analytical and they're risk averse. Sometimes they can be fearful, but one of the things that they bring to the table is that other side, that objective viewpoint. So as a project manager, if you have a person that you know is analytical, you know they're going to ask questions, you want to embrace them, get their buy-in, get their shared ownership, and say, hey, have you thought about this? What do you think is going to be some of the problems if this happens? Things like that. The other role is the information giver. That is your consultant. That is your SME, SME. That is a subject matter expert. This person knows the task well. They've probably been in a company for a long time. They're extremely experienced. They've had some success and they are respected for their expertise. You want to embrace that role if you have an information giver, and that's the person that you want to consult to find out, hey, am I missing something? Is there more that I could do to really help enhance this project to get this thing done correctly? Am I missing something? The other role that you want to embrace is the information giver. Now, the information seeker. Information giver is your SME. Information seeker, this person is what I call your Google doctor. If there is some information that needs to be found, they can find it. This person is extremely resourceful and they're really good with networking and making great relationships. So they have the go-to persons that they can go to. As a project manager, you want to embrace those people that are on your team. Then you have the harmonizer. Can't we all just get along? This is the person that brings the coffee, the donuts, the hugs, and the love. They're also really great at resolving conflicts. They are a charming individual. People love them, and they can be an influencer on your project. If you have difficult stakeholders to deal with, project managers can really use that influencer. You can use that harmonizer to help influence decisions. Also, another role that you want to have on your project is the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper, this person will help you. The gatekeeper keeps meetings on task. They keep up with action items. They'll say, hey guys, we're getting off track. We came here for this. They are time sticklers. They will keep time for you to let you know, hey, we're running out. We got 10 minutes left in this meeting. Let's wrap this up. That kind of thing. You want those gatekeepers. Also, the gatekeeper, they're a great facilitator. So they're open to ensure that they're getting results and we're getting buy-in from everyone that's there. So they'll say, hey, we haven't heard from John today. John, what do you think about this particular thing that we're working on? All right. So, but the gatekeeper is very results oriented and they are a great facilitator. You also have the encourager. The encourager is the person, they make a way out of no way. If there is a problem or a situation that people are experiencing, they're very positive. So the encourager encourages the project manager and the other team members and to say, hey guys, the sky's not falling. Let's look at some alternatives and things like that. And then you also have your summarizer. Now, I love summarizers. The summarizer is a person that sit in a meeting. They can sit in a 2-hour meeting and sum it up in 10 minutes. That is what I call a teacher, coach, trainer. They could pull in information from various perspectives and make sure they hit everybody in the room in terms of understanding. We love those people. And these are the constructive, good, positive roles that you want on your project team. Now, let's talk about the destructive roles. All right, so the destructive roles, these are the roles that people play on a project. Not only is it destructive to the project manager, it's destructive to the team. And in many cases, if the project manager ignore it and act like it's not there, it causes all types of issues on your project. So one of the things, main thing, like I mentioned, you have to have confidence as a project manager. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. Tapping the screen for my replay viewers. Thank you for the hearts. The negative roles or the destructive roles that team members play. The first is the aggressor. This person is rude, they are condescending, they are mean, and they want people to fear them. All right, that is a very destructive role, especially if you're dealing with the constructive people and you got this mean person over here. If it's a mean person with power, it's even worse on your project. So as a project manager, you want to be able to use your interpersonal skills to be able to convert that aggressor to the other side. The best thing to do is confrontation. And confrontation is not negative. We're going to deal with the action and not attack the person. The other negative role that team members play is the blocker. The blocker is usually the person that's in power. The blocker is the person that want to do the absolute least and get the best results. The blocker is the person, everything has to come through me before it gets to your higher ups and your senior managers and your leaders. And oftentimes they are the trusted person. They're very close to a leader and they are trusted. They're what I call a loyalist. So this is how they could block information, because the information gets to them to get the project done and it stops. They want to do the absolute least. And then they're, in many cases, insecure because they feel like if you're doing well, you're making them look bad. That is a negative role on a project. And we have a word for it. It's called blockers. My sister called it haters. So as a project manager, you want to use your interpersonal skills, and the best way to handle that is to be seen and heard. As a project manager, if you're seen and heard, team members are aware, and you have to be able to, like I say to Christians, you got to be able to get a prayer through. As a project manager, you got to be able to get results through, even if you're dealing with blockers. All right, and many times it's remove them from your project team. All right. The other negative role is the devil's advocate. Now, many people will call a devil's advocate a clarifier, but they're not. This person literally acts like the devil. All right, so let me tell you the kind of things that they do. They are passive aggressive. They pretend that they're on board with the direction of the project, but yet they have a divisive plan, and then they secretly pull other team members into it. And in the meetings, they're on board. They're like, yeah, they're the cheerleader. They're walking away with their action items as if they're going to do it. But in reality, they have no intentions on doing it that way. They are totally against the project manager. They are totally against the direction of the team. They think it doesn't take all of that. And it's very negative on the project. And in this case, you have to be seen and heard as well. So you know who your devil's advocates are. Usually when somebody say, hey, I'm going to play the devil's advocate here, what they're really saying is that, hey, have you thought of the objective side? But if you really have a demon on your project, you will know, because they're very divisive. They're backstabbing. They'll say one thing one day. They'll commit to something and then they'll lie and say that they didn't. Very destructive. All right. So you want to have your ears and your eyes open. The other negative role that's on a project is the recognition seeker. Doggone it. If they did it, you better throw a party, give a crown. Give them a crown, give them a tiara, march around and post it on every social media page that they did it. And they got to have the credit. All right. Another way a recognition seeker operates, sometimes you can't determine that they're a recognition seeker. But this is that person who they're not very cooperative, or they're very laid back all the time in projects. They don't really take initiative to do anything. However, if there's someone in that project team that matters, or in that project meeting that matters, like senior leadership, somebody that they're trying to impress, all of a sudden they have answers. That is the recognition seeker. Another negative role on a project is the topic jumper. This is the person that complains about everything. Oh my gosh, they are complaining about everything. First, they complain about the temperature of the room. You change the temperature of the room. Now it's their pen. You give them a pencil. They complain about the pencil. You give them a marker. They complain about the marker. Nothing is ever right. There's a problem with every single thing. That's the topic jumper. You really cannot resolve a problem with a topic jumper because you do not know that they actually have a problem. Thank you for joining, Joseph the King. Thank you for joining the scope. Please share. Tap that screen for hearts. Tap that screen for hearts. If you've already shared, please share again. And where are you coming in from? Go ahead and type the city and state that you are coming in from. And thank you for joining the scope. Again, I'll do a quick intro again. Thank you, Dallas, Texas. My name is Magdalene Harvey. I am a project management trainer, project management guru, project management consultant. I do PMP, I do Agile, I do Scrum, I do Prince 2, and I do by any means necessary project management. I do change management. I do ITIL, Six Sigma, I'm Six Sigma, yellow, green, and black belt, and lean. And I also teach business analysis and ITIL. And I have all of the ITIL certifications, the foundations as well as the advanced. So my goal usually when someone is in my class is not only to walk away with the certification that they came for, but how do you apply? How do you apply this stuff in real world? And how do you merge the methodologies? So it's not about throwing around the different terminology. That's our secret as project managers. So what you do is as a project manager, what we do is we practice project management. But to everyone else, I said that wrong. As a project manager, what we do as a project manager, we understand the theory. We understand the technical speak. But when you're having these conversations with your team members, use regular language. Use regular language. Okay? All right. The other negative role is the withdrawer. Oh my gosh. The withdrawer is the person that's on your project team. They commit, and never do anything. They are in the room, but they are not in the building. All right. And that is a negative role on your project. So as you can see, I have that here on the board. The negative roles. Oh my goodness. I forgot about the dominator. The dominator is the person who think they're supposed to be the project manager. You don't know what you're doing. So this person always has a better idea. They always have a way to show that you are messing up, that you made a mistake. And usually this person is extremely critical. So here's how I have dealt with all of these things in the past. You have to use emotional intelligence, and then you have to use your interpersonal skills to convert the negative to positive. And we had a project where we were working with some married couples, and we were bringing an event. This event was going to have pretty much in attendance about 2,000 people. And one of the things that we had that's going on, thank you for joining, David Winston. Thank you. One of the things that we had going on, we actually had a leader who shot down everyone's idea. They were very condescending. They made everyone feel bad. So one of the things that I was able to do, I'm a project manager by trade. So one of the things that I was able to do was to talk to that leader, and I had to pull this down because one of the things he had, you're a woman. You can't tell me what to do. That was a whole nother story. So one of the things that I had to do to him, I said, you must be the youngest child. And it was a shock factor for him. How do you know my birth order? That was kind of where he was. And I said, because you are working too hard to get your place. Let the Lord deliver you from that. We are in a project and we're working together. If you have women and you have people over here who are passionate about what they're doing and they are crying, you don't want people to fear you. That is not of God. This is a ministry and we are trying to help couples. So everybody was just like, everybody was kind of in shock because what I did was by the Holy Ghost, because God will give you discernment. I dealt with the issue. The issue wasn't that you were intimidating, pulling people down. The root was you got to insecurity. You've not been heard all of your life. So now you come into a project and you're going to be heard and you're going to intimidate people because this is your chance. And in life, that's not how it works. So as a project manager, many times you have to deal with the root of the issue. And once you deal and do it in love, once you deal with that, then we could get the project going. So project management in many cases is really, and what I usually tell people when I had to do this class at my church with my pastor, I came in and I said, everyone's pretty much a project manager because you've managed a project. Well, a project may have managed you. So there are some methodologies. There are some proven things that come directly from the word that teaches you how to do this. And many people say when it comes to the church world, oh, that's corporate. This is kingdom. No. The way it works is what the corporations used came from the kingdom. Imagine that. So that's my scope in terms of the, and watch the replay, the constructive roles and the destructive roles. Okay. As a project manager, you want to know what is good for your project. And it starts from evaluating yourself. You always want to approach it from a pure perspective, knowing that someone hired me as a consultant to do this job. Yes, it is universal principles. No matter what your religion, creed, or color, you're going to work with people of all races, creed, color, religious backgrounds, or none. And what you have to be able to do is not have a bias or set up a way to offend other people. So you have to know yourself and you have to have confidence. And then you take that confidence and you apply it to helping the team work together. We all need to row the boat in the same direction, and you leave no man behind. So if you know you have a team member that's incompetent and they need some assistance, give them the proper training and put them in the right direction that they need to go in so that they can be a contributor to your team. And if you want some additional information, feel free to reach out to me. My email address is my first name backwards. It's enilagam@gmail.com. Go ahead and send me an email and let me know some of the resources that you're looking for. Anything dealing with project management, anything dealing with ITIL infrastructure. Well, I would say not ITIL infrastructure, but infrastructure, period. And what infrastructure is, what are some of the foundational things as an organization, as a business, no matter how large or small you are, that you need to have in place? What are those things? And there are some infrastructure things that needs to be put in place so that projects can be successful, so that when you hire in roles, how do you figure out what role people need to be in? And once you figure out the role that the person needs to be in, how do you make sure that you place them properly and give them the proper tools and trust the individual that you hired so they can do the job that they've been hired to do? All right. Are there any questions for me in the scope? If there are any questions, go ahead and type those questions in the chat, because this is totally cool how I can see you. And I'm used to engagement. I'm used to people kind of looking at me and asking me questions directly. Today's class was absolutely powerful while I'm waiting on you to type those questions. Today, we talked about project integration management in the class. We talked about human resource management in the class. And I actually told the class that tonight I will be doing a scope on this part. Today we talked about communications, and communications is about information, and what some people don't realize is push and pull communications. Push communications is what I send to you. Pull communications is what I can receive, and the different channels in which I can receive that, and how to manage multiple channels of communications. In many cases, that's where projects fail, when people forget about the different channels of communications. We talked about stakeholder management today, and we also talked about scope. The waterfall method of project management is all about scope. And what scope is, usually you're given a project, you're given a charter, say, hey, do this. And a real project manager will help an organization and people get clear. Thank you for joining the scope. Please share with your followers. Actually, we're getting ready to go. Yes, the replay is on catch. I think it's. I'm not sure how to find it, but my name is in my scope name is enilagam, which is my first name backward, which is Magaline Harvey, and I am in Atlanta, Georgia. I teach PMP boot camp classes. I actually teach in Atlanta, Georgia, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which is my hometown, New Orleans, Louisiana, and I teach in Nashville, Louisville, Kentucky, and the Alabamas. So also, I will come to your corporation if you have 5 or more